Um, I must welcome you to the maiden edition of post 7th December elections 2012. Clearly, this is our first discussion in the studio regarding the elections, held on Friday, and obviously the NDC is very, very excited, and they have comfortable majority as they choose to describe it, and the MPP still has some grievances, and to the best of their knowledge, they think that they have a case which largely 90% of the population in Ghana are in total disagreement. I think the one touch call went down well, resonated with the people. They want to celebrate a very peaceful Christmas come 25th, and as such they did what was necessary by voting for John Dramani Mahama in just the first round and gaining victory over the MPP. Well, tonight we'll be discussing, the fallout from the 7th December elections, whether or not some polling stations results were doctored to favor a particular political party, and some aspirants that could not necessarily win, but they stood their grounds, ensured that justice was served at their constituency. Tonight, to help me with the discussion, I've been joined in by Mr. Alex Doe, who is a member of government communication team, and Ras Mubarak. I'm sure all of you know him, yearning to see him after the elections. Although he came close, very, very close to victory, but due to some unfortunate incidents, he could not win. He will help me tonight to discuss, how the election went and whether or not he was totally satisfied with the turn of event. Good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for your time here.
Good to see you again, Ali.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed, and good evening to the many viewers all over the country. I'm so excited to be back here in the studio.
Of course.
It's been a very grueling 11 months of non-stop campaigning.
Yeah. And you particularly worked hard. You started your campaign very, very early.
I mean, for those of us in orphaned constituencies, we held our primaries in November of last year.
Okay.
So 2 months before November, we were campaigning, from August. And it's been like a little over a year since we've been campaigning. Some of us were really longing to see the end of the campaign so we can get back to our families and hug our sons and daughters and get back to work for our country. But I'm so happy that, the NDC has emerged victorious. That is what hard work has brought us. And indeed, the good people of Ghana have spoken. Their verdict on all the people who stood for election as president is that they want President John Dramani Joshua Obama Mahama to be our country's leader. And I'm so excited that indeed we have entrusted leadership of this country to the Joshua of our time. He's a very, safe pair of hands compared to the other people, and indeed that is manifest in the results that we got. Our friends are making a lot of noises, but I'm sure as the program progresses, we'll come to that. But I think that the good people of Ghana, the young men and women, first-time voters, senior citizens, they deserve the most commendation for what they did. They have brought this country this far through their thumb. They have ensured that President Mahama was elected. And I think we need to express our token of thanks and appreciation to all voters, anyone who went out there to vote in the name of democracy.
Let me put this question to you. Were you disappointed that you didn't win? Did something go wrong?
Well, I mean, first of all, there's no denying that Ablekumanov is a hard nut to crack.
Yeah, indeed, a strong vote for the MPP.
Has been seen as the bantamer of the MPP in Greater Accra.
Yeah.
They used to whip us like we whip them in some parts of the Volta region. And it's seen by many of our colleagues as a hopeless constituency for the NDC. We went in there, we proved that indeed the constituency could be won.
Okay.
And people in Ablekmanov constituency, like the many people across the country, deserve a lot better. You know, they deserve improvement in their lifestyles. They deserve an MP who can get things going for them in their constituency. I would say that we ran probably one of the, or arguably one of the best campaigns. We're visible on the ground. As a matter of fact, we emasculated them as far as visibility is concerned.
So in your opinion?
We did our house to house.
Okay.
We held the most rallies. We did our door to door. We did everything possible. But, you know, in any contest, you don't usually get the best strategies to produce the best results.
Okay.
You know, it's just like in football. Ghana is notorious for playing the best football, but sometimes the best football doesn't produce, you know, the kind of results that we all need. So obviously something went wrong, and we have already started the postmortem. We are analyzing and seeing where we went wrong and how we can, you know, get things going for the constituency, because indeed the NDC would have to win Ablekmanov constituency in the future to get things going for the constituency. The constituency needs a leader that can provide the kind of leadership that has been missing from Ablekmanov constituency for the last 16 years. And I wouldn't say it's unfortunate. The people have spoken. I'm a Democrat.
What do you think was missing in your campaign that could have, you know, described as the game changer?
There are a couple of things that we did not pay attention to, but I would not like to discuss them publicly.
That's an internal matter.
Because they are things that I would want us to revisit and make sure we capitalize on.
Okay.
We took our eyes off the ball at some point, and it hurt us, you know, and clearly it is one of the reasons. And I can just, you know, brush over it. I mean, if you look at the composition of returning officers, of ROs, of you know, POs, presiding officers, and so on, they were largely MPP people.
You didn't complain?
You know, no. I mean, we registered some protest. We got some people knocked off the list.
Okay.
But that was not enough, you know. And I think going forward, this is something that we have to clearly pay attention to as a political party. There was even a moment when the returning officer, when he was announcing the results, said, NDC got this and we got that. And I'm like, blimey.
We.
And he said, we got that. His name is Urenchi.
Clearly he was exposed.
You know, and he said, we got this. And I'm like, blimey, what is this guy doing? You know, so going forward, we have to make sure that all of these people do not get involved in being the referee in our elections in Ablekmanov constituency. But by and large, we got nearly 35,000 votes. I want to express my token of thanks to all the almost 35,000 people.
And that's an improvement over
and
the
that
previous.
That is an improvement over
both parliamentary and presidential.
Both parliamentary and presidential.
Okay.
I mean, it's a marked improvement over what we got in 2008.
Okay.
And the irony is that somebody ends up in parliament with 8,000 votes, with 7,000 votes, and you've banged in 34,587, and you're still not there. You know, but that is the beauty of democracy.
It also has to do with the size of the constituency.
It also has to do with the size of the constituency. You know, we are happy.
Okay.
Happy because our president won. For me, that is the ultimate. That is the single most important thing. For me as an NDC member, we did our best to ensure that President Mahama got a lot of votes in the constituency, and all of us across the country did our best. He's the leader. He is the safest pair of hands.
Indeed.
And we went into the election with a very distinct message that in this election and at this moment, there's only one candidate who can ensure the peace, the stability, the unity and prosperity of our country. What the MPP is doing is clear manifestation of what they represent.
We'll discuss the violence that occurred after the election. But before that, let me go to Alex. You monitored events in the voter region to be precise. And I'm sure the issue of machines breaking down, biometric verification machines breaking down, you know, caused a lot of concerns, not only there, somewhere in the north also. generally, what was your impression about the elections?
Yeah, thank you very much. On the whole, I might say that it's been a very peaceful election, though there are some question marks, you know, at some areas. I must salute all the diehard supporters of the NDC who have really shown entire support, and by that we have gotten what we've got, and I'm happy. However, with some kind of mixed feeling, looking at what our colleagues on the other side are doing now. I must say, frankly, that in the Volta region, everything is gone on very well. However, there were some machine breakdown, you know, the verifier, the verification machine at some centers, and that I gathered that what they supposed to do was to change the battery for some period of time.
Okay.
But the operators or those who were in charge did not do that, or maybe it was an oversight. So that led to the breakdown of those machines, and it had really created some problem. But on a whole, Volta region being a peaceful region, of course, I'm a native descendant. So on a whole, we managed to really manage a situation which couldn't result to any violence or any dreadful act. So generally, we have done it, and we have seen the vote, the number of votes that is gotten from the Volta region. And I salute the good people of Volta region, running down through Anglo Kita, South Tongu, the Central Volta, and the Northern Volta. I salute them. Because, you know, Ali, frankly speaking, even in the whole of Volta region, I'm confident, bold to say that we have won almost all the seats. It's only one that is gotten by, you know, as an independent candidate who was also part of the family before he broke away. So that is the Volta region for you. You know, I'm not tribalist by nature, but then that is how, you know, discerning, that is how appreciable, you know, the good people of Volta region is. They have seen the good works of JDM, you understand? And what must they do? Is to pay back, is to support by tamprinting. And that is an excellent one.
You don't think they've put their votes, as somebody would say, on autopilot, regardless of what NDC does?
Oh, no.
They would always be for the NDC?
No, it depends on how you look at it.
I think it's a voting based on principle.
It's a voting based on principle. I have listened to Ernesto Yeboah and some NPP Apache yesterday making some kind of analysis that looking at the results, you know, it is the NDC that has really gone up. Looking at the previous, you know, most of them were running diminishing, you know, kind of results, but the NDC has really shot up, and that should send signal to our people out there that the NDC has really done well. You understand? For us to push up, which some people, the opponents, those from the bush, the elephants, are claiming that we have really done something bad. We have doctored, you know, things of the sort, which is total bullshit. Excuse my language. It's total bullshit.
You have to withdraw that word.
You get it. You get it. Yes. So, but on a whole, the people have seen the good works of the NDC. You understand? It's all started from the late President John Evans Atta Mills. You know, JDM came and he continued. You know, placing JDM, defer, you know, to the dark, you understand? It is all clear for people to see. So there's absolutely no doubt. I had no doubt, and the people have exhibited
and
it.
Even in Ashanti region.
My brother, we have really done extremely well. We have really done extremely well. That's why I will have problem with the NPP by making noise all around. Because even in the Ashanti region, their hometown, their World Bank, their support base, if we had made progress, if we have increased our parliamentary seat, we have done a lot of votes there, then where lies the noise? Why should they be making noise? And my brother, looking at the 10 regions of Ghana, we have 10 good regions, and out of the 10, NPP is getting just 2 or winning two regions.
Yeah, that is
just
one
winning
development
2 regions.
that begs the question.
What could you make out of that? That should tell you that what the NPP is not nationally represented. You understand? It's not regionally represented compared to the NDC. Okay. We have won 8 out of 10, my brother. Let's get it clear. Somebody somewhere should be telling the truth. And indeed, you should tell the truth. We should educate
apart from that, they do not have seats in the Upper West as well as the Volta.
Exactly.
So this could also go to cement the fact that nationally, they do not reflect the interests of the Ghanaian people. But Ras, quickly,
on this issue of reflection of what Ghana is, I do think that, I mean, clearly, for starters, they had a candidate who wasn't going to fly.
Oh, you mean he's not marketable?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. They had a candidate who wasn't going to be able to beat Prof, who wasn't going to be able to beat President Mahama.
Okay.
And aside that, they had a lot of hawks, people who are very belligerent, running the show for him. So that put off a lot of people. When you hear statements like Yena Kamfo, All Die Be Die, Kenne Japan, these are all people who put off a lot of Ghanaians. And people wanted a political party that can best advance their interest. The people in the Volta region, those in Upper East and West, Northern, Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western, Brohafo, all of these regions, they wanted a candidate, they wanted a president who can best advance their aspirations. And they saw that in John Dramani Mahama. And some of us predicted that, the candidate the MPP was bringing wasn't going to exceed 48%.
Some argued that you had no message. It was Idebi Keke against Free SHS.
Well, again,
is it true? The NDC had no message. It was only
we had the best
sloganeering.
Message. I mean, what are Ghanaians looking for? Ghanaians are looking for prosperity. They're looking for peace. They're looking for stability.
Yeah.
They're looking for security. And that was our message. Vote NDC for peace and development. Vote NDC for peace, stability, development, and prosperity. And for them, they had only one answer to every question. They had free SHS. Somebody was asked about, their candidate was asked about maternal mortality, how you can reduce the rate,
debate.
And he said free SHS. And clearly this was coming from somebody who was out of touch.
Indeed.
Somebody who hadn't been prepped up very well for that debate, and somebody who couldn't best advance the interests and aspirations of our countrymen and women, especially in 2012, especially at this moment when Ghana needs to place itself in a very strategic position as far as making decisions on the international table on in Africa are concerned.
Okay.
And with all of these factors, with international issues like terrorism, like climate change, like food security,
and all that.
These are all things that President Mahama was on top of. They couldn't articulate and even accentuate what they were about. All he heard from left, right, and center was free SHS.
Indeed.
Nothing more, nothing less. And indeed, Ghanaians exhibited very good judgment by giving their free SHS mantra a thumbs down.
Okay.
Quick one before you go there. Quick one.
Let me take this break. When I come back, you have the opportunity to make your submission known. Stay with me. I will be right back. Welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, this is Majority Caucus live on your multi-TV, and my name is Ali Dawood. I'm your host for tonight's discussion. I know the excitement still continues, both home and abroad, that the NDC has emerged victorious. They just held elections, but obviously there has been some development, after the declaration, the MPP not in the mood at all to concede defeat. As irrelevant as that is to the good people of Ghana, we will dedicate some small, portion of our time to see how best we can discuss issues surrounding that, disagreement within the rank and file of the MPP. I know it's not all the MPP members that are for it. Most of them, know that they do not have a case, but they still want to give it a try. But we'll come to that.
Alex, I was about to make a very quick point before we move on to aftermath of the elections. You asked a question that people said we were not on message, we were not on point. My brother, it is not all about Idebi Keke. You see, the fact was that we had a message on education, we had a message on agric, we had a message on all sectors. But then, to some extent, the whole debate, a political debate was reduced to what? Two things, violence and peace. Following the statements that the people of the NPP were making. You get it?
Led by
Initially, we
Akufo-Addo.
all started, exactly, being the flag bearer. Initially, it wasn't like that. But all of a sudden, following the all die be die statement, Yena Kamfor statement, Samuel Auku coming in with a pestle and mortar stuff, Anthony Cabo coming in with mercenaries and all that, listening to Kennedy Japan, listening to Nyaho Tameklo, listening to the party chairman Mark Menu, Jake, and many of these things. Then people said, what is actually happening? So that has really narrowed the whole debate toward peace and what and violence. And the good people of Ghana, have seen the NDC as a peaceful party compared to the NPP being violent. And my brother, that was the card that played, in this whole election. And I have no doubt, NPP should still get to the drawing board and do some few homework. You understand? So following the aftermath, all that is happening. So coming from that to the
yeah, but before you go to the aftermath substantively, I have a statement here that was issued on the first day of voting, issued by the MPP campaign campaign manager, Boachi Ajako, and he reads part, I quote, Mr. Boachi Ajako said the NDC should not use the problem which affected a relatively tiny number of polling centers as an excuse for their bad showing in the Friday's presidential and parliamentary polls. For example, voting will take place Saturday in 73 polling stations in Greater Accra, 25 in Central Region, and only 2 in the Volta region. He went further to say that this cannot be said to amount to a disaster, especially when there is an opportunity to redress this matter. Alex, I want you to put this statement in perspective and juxtapose it with their conduct afterwards. This is a statement that purported to have given credibility to the electioneering process. Indeed, Boachi Jaku, the campaign manager of Akufo-Addo 2012, was saying that the election was free and fair and that it was so credible, and that the fact that the president was complaining about the breakdown of the biometric verification machine should not be an excuse or an attempt on the NDC to discredit the process. And then, sadly, when the election results were declared by Afarijan, they made a quick U-turn. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah.
Are these people we can trust when it comes to principle?
Thank you very much. I have seen that statement, and I was a bit disturbed, following what they are doing after the declaration of the result. This is the campaign director or the campaign manager of Nana Akufo-Addo making, statement, after which all of a sudden there's a U-turn of, going back. Exactly. You see, that is the nature of the NPP. That is the nature of the NPP. When it is going against them, then it is very bad. But when it is going in their favor, it is excellent, and everybody must applaud it. And this is what we must condemn. You get it? Let us call a spade a spade. What is good for you is good for you, no matter who you are, your political background or whatsoever. I was really surprised surprised to 100 degrees, if I should put it.
Please don't boil.
If I should put it,
that's a boiling point.
In that context. You understand? Now, we were having an election. Election wasn't over. During the process, when Nana Akufo-Addo was seen, leading the election, then we have heard a statement from Samuel Auku calling the supporters of the NPP to stand and support the ballot because the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, was on the lead, and by that he will win.
And this was captured in paragraph 12 of the release. Yeah.
And not long, just some few hours, after that, we have heard the General Secretary of the NPP, Sir John, having a press conference, calling on the people to wear a white and go to church on Sunday and jubilate, pour powder on themselves because the NPP has really won an election. And I wondered how and when, Sir John was confirmed electoral commissioner of this country under the constitution to declare elections. My brother.
No, Sir John, I mean Afarijan.
Afarijan, yeah.
Indeed.
You see,
I mean, Jake has done it before.
Perish the thoughts.
Yeah. You see, we should be serious in this country.
Indeed.
We should be serious. Somebody should be serious in this country. You see, that is NPP for you. Now, listening to them making a statement that there was some doctrine here and there, and by that, NPP, has won the election or should have won the election, and that the Electoral Commission shouldn't rush in declaring the result and all this thing. My brother, I see it as a total joke. And I put them in the context that, perhaps when the Christmas, they are sweating like Christmas goats. So they will do that, of course. Because, in Christmas, goats that are chained for slaughter, they sweat.
They smell the knife.
You see, my brother, this is not the first time Electoral Commission, Dr. Farijan is declaring elections. Yeah, it's running an election. It all started 1992, 96, 2000, 2004, 2008, and now 2012. The method of computing the results has not changed. And my brother, we have representatives of NPP, NDC, CPP, and all other political parties, at all polling stations. And they must sign the official, red sheet, to prove that indeed the results were accurate. We have international observers, Commonwealth group of observers, Cordio group of observers, and they have written their statement. We have had so many people in this country monitoring these elections. My brother, looking at Cordio's report, place it, juxtapose it with that of the Electoral Commission, my brother, there was similarity, just close mapping. So is that to suggest that they are also telling us?
I mean, from what I get from you is that from all intents and purposes, there's no way that the Electoral Commission could have gone wrong in terms of the result that they have.
My brother, exactly what I'm making. I'm saying that the method hasn't changed. If they have forgotten the formula, if they couldn't do simple statistics, computation, they should get back to the classroom.
Absolutely. But Raz, I'm wondering, could everybody be wrong? Only the MPP is right in terms of the result? Because what I have seen is that they have been isolated, both locally and globally, that it is only them that are saying that they still have some axe to grind with EC. But the statement that I just read is a statement giving an approval to the electioneering process as conducted by the EC. And then a U-turn saying, it is not credible. What has changed?
They went to this election, to this polls, with just one mindset.
Okay.
That they were going to accept anything but victory for their candidate. Unfortunately, they didn't have a plan B. And with what has happened,
the shock absorbers,
if you've gone into an election and you claim that the election had been rigged in somebody else's favor, then clearly you cannot be trusted with the resources of our country. You definitely sleep on the job.
Yeah.
So this is a clear indictment of their party, of their leader, and of Nana Akufo-Addo's judgment. They claim that we changed results in certain areas. What were their people doing?
Yeah.
And if you cannot do something as basic as policing the ballot, can you run a country really and truly?
That's a serious question.
They can't. And obviously, like I said, they are clearly out of touch. They didn't have a message. They had hawks running their campaign. And I feel so sad. Sad for the young men and women who belong to the MPP. Because they have these hawks destroying their future. In my constituency, in Ablekuma, in Dakuman, a young man called Isaac Latte, his room was touched by thugs, believed to be MPP, the night President Mahama was declared winner of the election.
Just like that.
He was out there celebrating. By the time Isaac Latte came home, the room was on fire. And we have seen mayhem visited on law-abiding Ghanaians. Why must a Ghanaian be restricted in wearing an NDC t-shirt?
Yeah. Very, very sad.
And why must it be difficult for our supporters to wear NDC t-shirt to town? It's just an election. But you see, the MPP ought to understand that losing an election is part of growing up. And so Akufo-Addo must really and truly grow up and face reality that in any election, two things are likely to occur. You either win or you lose. And if you lose, you respect the wishes of the people. The people of Ghana have given a verdict And the verdict of the people of Ghana is an indictment on Akufo-Addo's qualities as a leader. They rejected him in 2008. They've rejected him in 2012. They would reject him again any day, any time he's brought forward as the leader of the NPP. Okay. And I think this defeat provides the NPP an impetus. It provides them an opportunity to do some serious house cleaning, you know, to get rid of all these belligerent people who are running their party, and bring forward people who really would want to adhere and abide by the tenets of our democracy and abide by principles that we are all, you know, abiding by. What they are doing is a clear infringement of even the political party code of conduct, because all the parties are signed up to it.
Okay.
And if after losing elections, you would incite your supporters to get it out there in the street and do a U-turn after you've realized that
you're not winning.
one, you're not winning. Secondly, it's going to cost you politically. Because for a very long time, the good people of Ghana would continuously punish the NPP for what is happening currently. People just want to get on with their lives. I mean, today, Coach Kwesi Appiah has, you know, announced the Black Stars players. Okay. We should be discussing some soccer and getting in the groove of the African Cup of Nations. Yes. But here we are, nearly 7 days to an election. We're still talking about the fallout from the elections. Yeah. And I think it's most unfortunate, it's most regrettable. President Kufuor, we know, is a statesman. He should rein in on all of these hawks. The elderly people in the party should actually call their people to order so that this country can progress. I'm so excited that they are going to court. I mean, it's their democratic right to go to court.
Absolutely.
You know, but whilst they are at it, whilst they are scheming their scheme and plotting their plot, and whilst Nana Akufo-Addo is dreaming of becoming leader, President Mahama is showing leadership and running this country. As I speak to you, he's already in Nigeria in bilateral talks with our counterparts in Nigeria on how, you know, we can collaborate and get gas for our people. Yeah. So let me say that our supporters, and indeed all the good people of Ghana, should be at ease.
It's Guinea.
Sorry, Equatorial Guinea, not Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea. You know, the president is in Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
All the good people of Ghana should, you know, go about their normal day-to-day activity and not be afraid of anything. The security forces need a lot of commendation. They've done tremendously well. You know, if you look at how they provided buffer at the Electoral Commission, preventing MPP thugs and apparatchiks from invading the place to misbehave in their all-die-be-die craze, is very commendable. And we need to encourage them to stay on top of the job. We also need to make the point that the MPP's fight, as far as their statements are concerned, is not with the NDC. So it is important that we in the NDC stayed away from reacting to things that they are saying. The MPP is claiming that they have a problem with election results. And if they have problems with election results, it is an institution, which is the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
So if they raise issue, it should be the Electoral Commission that is responding to these things. We should just, you know, keep quiet, run our country, let Nana Addo dream his dream of becoming an MP, of becoming a president. Let them scheme their scheme and plot their plot. President Mahama is running this country. He's going to win again in 2016. And he would deliver on our pre-election promises. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we would provide a better Ghana for all the good people of Ghana. There's not going to be discrimination. We're not going to discriminate on account of people not voting for us. Unlike them. Unlike the MPP, which is largely bigoted. Because we see that in statements that their leaders make. We see that in the thuggery that has been visited on innocent Ghanaians. And clearly, this is not a party that, you know, Ghanaians want to sign up to.
Ras, I will come back to you. So we'll look at the conduct of the various presidential aspirants, those who were quick to concede defeat and congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on winning the 2012 presidential election. But before we do that, you have to stay with me. I will be right back. Welcome back to the show. This is Majority Caucus Live on your multi-TV. Issues that have been discussed so far, the violence that you know happened after the 7th December election, and as to whether or not the MPP would ever concede defeat. But before we move there, I must take this opportunity to condemn in no uncertain terms the acts of violence perpetrated against some media houses, including Menasa Azuri of Joy FM, as well as Emmanuel Ante. I think that situation is very, very regrettable. The attempt made by Elizabeth Ohene to come and apologize at multimedia, well, it's a good attempt. We will commend her on that, but that is not enough. She should be able, you know, with the effort from the MPP family, to pinpoint those people who committed this unlawful act, and that they should be brought to book. Mere apologies would not suffice. Further action needs to be taken. Criminal proceedings must be instituted. I do not want to talk about my personal experience around rage, you know, around the premises of Akufo-Addo's private residence, where I was attacked by some hoodlums of the MPP. By the grace of God, I managed to survive. But same cannot be said about a very good friend of mine in Newtown, Kayode, whose car was vandalized at Nana Akufo-Addo's Nima residence. As I speak to you now, we have the whole thing on tape, and at appropriate time we will be airing them. You see very, very prominent members of the MPP who were there cheering them up, cheering you know, these tags up, applauding them, very, very excited that an NDC supporter was being attacked instead of coming to his defense. I will just leave the rest of the issues to my guests in the studio. Alex.
My brother.
The independent candidate was quick to concede defeat. So was the candidate for UFP and Mahama Hassan Ayariga, except for the PPP, who I'm still confused as to what is their position. They claim they also have some difficulty with the electioneering process, except that they do not think that they would go to court. So you begin to wonder if indeed you know you have a case, why wouldn't you go to court? But that's just another matter for another day. What do you have to say about their conduct? To me, I think that is good statesmanship.
Yeah, the conduct. Before I get to that, still on the violence, my brother.
Okay.
You know, it's still beating my mind, because these were the people, the NPP. They were the people saying that the battle was of the Lord.
Yeah,
the
indeed.
battle was of the
they
Lord.
quoted a chapter
you understand?
from the Bible.
Exactly. Exactly. You understand that they were not into this battle, you know, doing it all with their strength. They are leaving it all to God. So are the people who voted now, must they all be slaughtered? Must they die? And who will stay? Who live to give them the vote come 2016, if they so wish or would like to do that? You see, it's very, very pathetic. And I know that the good people of Ghana are beginning to read between the lines. You understand? And they now know who really the NPP as a party is or are. So, well, if I were them, I should quickly call my house to order. I've listened to Jake. I think that's in the right direction, provided they really mean it. You understand? Because sometimes it's not just mere statement. They have made statement and Akufo-Addo that he wouldn't see any, he wouldn't pretend any bloodshed for him to become a president and this and that.
But they organized them at Obra.
You understand? But this is what is happening.
Yeah.
People were stabbed, people were beaten, and even this evening, my brother, at Makola, could you imagine people were being chased with cutlasses, you know, hawkers on the street? They were being brutalized and all that. And I'm picking signals. We've had report, you know, that even at Ashanti region, Anglo, where the good people of Volta region, you know, you get it. They are chasing these people and the Northerners. What sort of thing is this? You understand? Because you are not a president, you are not declared winners of election 2012. Okay. People must.
Let me announce the phone lines quickly. You could join in the discussion in the studio on 0302 211-70124, 0302-211-70124. Russ, violence, aftermath of the election. Do you think the MPP is living up to the peace commitment they signed in Kumasi?
They would have to walk the talk. You know, there's so much flowery language, you know, about, you know, their leader being for peace. You know, we've had senior people in the MPP in sight.
Okay, let me take this call from Abdul Karim. Hello, Abdul Karim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ayazu,
Ayaza.
will you believe what happened in Monday in Imarabad? You can't believe it.
Tell me about
because
it.
of my junior brother wearing this t-shirt. The guy was to kill his boy. Why? So if it's going for MPP, I'm not now. I believe the NDC. And that NDC, some of us can live. I'm a third driver. But I believe NDC. That's what I was. So
Okay.
I should just forget NDC and go and support MPP. That will not happen. Before MPP, my uncle is MPP. But through because of this, he regrets to be MPP man. He said, I have for this party. No, I regret it. I will not follow there again.
Abdul, I'll pray that you let calm prevail in whatever community you are,
But
and
it's
trust
end of
that
it.
the security will be in charge. And thank you very much for your opinion. I have Alex from Hoho. Hello, Alex.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Welcome to the show.
I'm very fine.
Okay.
Thank you for the good work that you are doing.
Okay, go ahead.
I have my DC, another Alex on the studio.
Yeah, your name,
Yeah, Tori Alex.
Yeah.
Medokukuna mi koleke mi vota to mi dakona DC.
Me po nenema.
Medokukuna mi jagba mi afuna me MP so.
Okay. Okay.
Alex, perhaps we want to understand what you're saying. If you could speak English.
If you explain it, you have to speak in our language
for the benefit of my viewers.
I think he's
Okay,
saying we all
basically,
should
what
eat
he's
at home
talking
tonight.
about is that the Volta region has given a lot of vote, to the NDC,
Yeah.
and that we should not forget
Indeed,
the
that
people of
reflected in the
Volta
total
region.
turnout in Volta region. That is indeed true.
Yeah.
Okay, I have Bernard from Boku. Hello, Bernard.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Bernard.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
You are most
I
welcome.
think what the MPP should be doing now is to take a postmortem of what has contributed to their defeat.
Okay.
One, they didn't package themselves well, and I can list them. One, Akufo-Addo said it must be a can, it must be all that be die. Kennedy Japan also came out and said they should eliminate gas and LS. And a series of events. Look at the HLIs, it's booming wherever you go. But Akufo-Addo denied that it was collapsing. So the good people of Ghana considered all these facts. You can't think to rule Ghana on the premises of falsehood. So the people of Ghana rejected Akufo-Addo and the MPP simply because of the lies. You see, we have moved away from the era of lies.
Okay.
Look at the
thank you very much. Unfortunately, Bernard, I'm running out of time. Thank you very much for your opinion. Ras, we are on the point that MPP cannot be trusted when it comes to
No, they can't. I
peace.
mean, they would have to exhibit. They would have to do a lot more than just condemn. You know, at one point you are inciting people to hit the streets and misbehave. At another point you are saying, "Oh, we are all for peace," and so on and so forth. I really do think that there's not much honesty in their posture. And I think the good people of Ghana should see them for who they really are. That if we want a party that is for peace, that is for stability, that is for the development of our country, it is the NDC and not the other guys. You know, and continuously, we would have to, allow the security forces to do their work. For me, I keep making the point that let NDC members not get in the way. Let's not respond. Let's go about our normal duties, and let's feel proud to wear our party paraphernalia. Let's celebrate. I mean, we've been emasculated for a very long time. In 1996, we were told not to come out and celebrate. In 2000, 2004, 2008, our members were asked to be restrained in their celebration. I think the time has come for us to feel free. I mean, this victory was hard won. We must indeed come out and celebrate.
Absolutely.
Let's do it in moderation. And when we are provoked, let's resort to the law. The security forces are on top of the job, and they are there to support us. But for JM, big congratulations to him, and thanks very much indeed to all Ghanaians for making us proud and for rejecting bigotry, for rejecting the pack of lies that the MPP was churning out, and for rejecting a candidate who is not for peace but pretending He's for peace.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Alex,
Yeah.
your final words.
My final word. You see, by their fruit, Bible says that by their fruit they shall be seen or identified. And I'm not surprised. You see, if you are a lion,
In 15
you
seconds.
are a lion. You cannot pretend to be a sheep if you are not. You understand? So I think the exhibition, you know, the conduct in theater studies, we learned something about characterization, you know, what the character does, what people say about the character. You understand? Yes. So what people are saying, you know, it's quite different from what, you know, they are talking about themselves. So I think that it will not be for them. Ghanaians knowing who really they are, they will pay them back dearly in 2016.
Okay. Alex said Ghanaians will still reject the MPP come 2016 when we go to the polls again. But let me take this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on winning the 7th December elections and presidential elections, and all the NDC you know, parliamentary aspirants who also won, and those who did not. Better luck next time, Ras Mubarak, and thank you very much, gentlemen, for making time to join me here. Well, you make a date with me on Tuesday. We'll come your way with another exciting edition of Majority Caucus. Till then, enjoy your night.